yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with a cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No place for their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards in the weekend, harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Well, welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just me, of course. This is the H-Cast. I've got some other people to bring on. This is, of course, your favorite podcast, the H-Cast. Hope you're all well, wherever it is, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for tuning in to the show this evening. We've got quite a doozy for you. Good. My dog's just moved. I can scooch in a little bit more now. I was scooched out a little bit there because Jasper was occupying the floor space. And what Sir Jasper wants, Sir Jasper gets. Anyway, so he suitably ruined my intro, hasn't he? Bless him. Right. What are we doing? What are we talking about? We've got loads to talk about. Obviously, some of this stuff is the backlash to the sort of Trump assassination attempt, and sort of what people have been saying and things like that. It's in the title, Tenacious D, essentially cancelled, and potentially the band done and dusted. The Acolyte Season 2, cancelled, potentially, obviously, who knows? We'll see how it goes. Hope not. I'd like to buy another classic car. We've got Disney. Disney was hacked. Interesting. So we've got some stuff to do with that as well. And believe it or not, we finally have an update on the Toxic Avenger remake, which never should have been remade. Interesting. Anyway, we've got a great show for you. Okay, it's going to be good fun. So, a few things to get out of the way. If you want to support the show, please do, because we get demonetized here. All right? It's probably already demonetized. So, this is funded by you guys, for you guys. So, if you want to help out, please do send in a super chat. You can ask us a question. It can be a comment about what we're talking about, or it can be anything else. You can literally steer the conversation into anything you would like. The best way to do that is sending it via Streamlabs, and that is pinned to the top of the live chat. The reason why it's best to send it there is because if you send a super chat via YouTube, YouTube brutalizes that super chat and they take 30% of it, all for their own pockets. It's very frustrating. So send it via Streamlabs. I also have a Patreon, which I'm trying to push a little bit more. So if you enjoy this, guys, even if 10 of you signed up to the $2 a month pledge over on Patreon, that'd be great. You can find that linked down below, and I'm sure Olaf or Zombie Box Reviews will chuck that in the chat now. That'd be great. Please do help out. Anyway, I've got merch, mr8shop.com. I think that's it. Let's bring on... Oh, hit that thumbs up button. There you go. I've done my ramble now. Right, let's bring on some people. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. As always, I love being your co-host or whatever it is I am. You know, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. You can
general podcast bitch.
Yeah, that also.
You know, that's producer. True. Yeah, all those things I think and true.
Yeah, the whipping boy for the channel, whatever. But no, check out my channel. I have one. It's called Culture Casino, and you can find me on YouTube and Grumble and Getter and Twitter and all of that's right. Culture Casino. Follow me on Twitter. I've been pitching a fit and talking about some things maybe I shouldn't. Weighing in heavily on things about stop trying to get people, unalived, please. Thanks. And let's see what else is happening. Oh, yeah, I also have a gaming channel. It's called That Game Place. It's growing like a weed. We're over, we're sitting at 1,500 subscribers, or just under. You could put me over the top. There's probably 3 of you out there that are not subscribed to That Game Place, so do check that out. We are a growing effort, and it looks like we're going to be monetized here in the next 24 hours or so. So that's exciting. Other than that, I'm having a good time. I'm glad to be here. I love the stories we picked out, so I think we need to bring Tom on to say hi.
Yes. Sorry, I was just scooching a little bit further, making sure I don't squash my little boy because he's just down there, bless him, underneath the desk. Right away. Tom, how are you doing, good sir? Stuff in your face.
He's eating spaghetti.
Shall we kick you out and bring you back in?
Just let him finish his spaghetti. Okay, he's ready. He's ready.
Here he goes.
I just hope Mike ain't watching.
Uh-oh. You get in trouble? I bet you got in trouble.
Might. I don't know. Right. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm Tom from Midnight Says Midnight Edge, After Dark Mead Radio, and all those fine places where you can find me. Lost Classic. Nobody watches.
There's a lot of places.
I got critters.
Oh, that's cool. How are you all? How are you both doing? Not all. How are you both doing? Good.
Just eat my lunch.
Yeah, I'm as good as I'm as good as I'm going to be. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess look. I mean, funnily enough, I'm British. You can probably tell by my accent. So,
really?
what's the general tone and tenor of the land in the States at the moment? On the ground floor level, what are people? Not what are you like? What's it like going out and about, interacting with people? Not online, because I can experience that. What's it like actually being out and about? What's the tone, the general vibe from people?
I think the vibe around us is that everything's changed or shifted because of the events of Saturday. Obviously, the rhetoric that's out there is going to still be out there. We still have the knuckleheads in the mainstream media. I think Tom will agree with that. But in interacting with people, going to the grocery store, doing the chores of the day when you're out with people, or going to a theater, or whatever it happens to be, those conversations are. Most people are appalled, aghast that something like this could happen. It feels very much like it did after Reagan was shot, and there's definitely a shift in not just the wind, but I think momentum here to a great effect. And it's actually affecting corporations now. Business leaders are turning things around. But from the people that I've interacted with, I think even the people who were, clearly, angered at one particular side seem to be not so public about that now. I don't know. Tom, what have you seen?
I personally haven't really been out much because I'm a lazy ass hermit. And I've seen a lot of people reporting that even in the most bluest of areas now, they can go out with their Make America Great Again hats and they don't get the looks or the BS they used to get. I mean, look, we've had a lot of people for a long time, and this is going to get into our Tenacious TDS talk a little bit. We've had a lot of people for a long time feeding a lot of rhetoric and canceling a lot of people over just the silliest of nonsense. And now all of a sudden you have some people who are kind of dying by their own sword, let's say, in a way.
Well, yeah, it's...
And the irony of it all is it's TDS that's killing them. But I mean, like I said, we'll definitely get more into that when we get to the...
we will. Yeah. I just thought it'd be interesting. Yeah. I just thought it'd be interesting to ask, just because, of course...
I've never seen this before. I mean, look, I understand all the crap we've dealt with the last 10 years, but I mean, 8 years especially. But I mean, I've never seen this kind of event happen, and someone who has been so dehumanized by the press, and it continues. Right? Because usually when something like this happens, that's the moment when people go, okay, I think we've gone a little too far. But no, they're
anyway. It stopped for about 12 hours, if that. Stopped for about 12 hours, really, and then everyone was straight back to it. But it is interesting. I just thought I'd get the general vibe from people, especially because we've got people from all over the world watching.
There is an air of attention, but I think that's more online, maybe. I don't know. But see, I'm in Wisconsin right now. Milwaukee, we've had a lot of shit go down the last 24, 48 hours or whatever because of the convention going on there. There was just a shooting now close by.
That's apparently just Milwaukee in general, isn't it?
It
Apparently.
is, but this sounds like it might actually be connected to the RNC because this guy had a bunch of knives on him, and some Columbus, Ohio cop shot him. So I don't know if it's a situation where this guy followed him all the way from Ohio,
Yeah,
or
out of
he
town,
just
yeah.
happened to be a cop in the right area at the right time. But yeah, we've
Mhm.
had a lot. There is a bit of a tense feel around some of this stuff too, because it feels. Here's the other problem, not to go too deep into it, but once this happens, the chances of it happening again go up
Yeah, of course.
astronomically.
Well, you've got to consider this. This is the person that was successful in getting a shot off. How many people have been foiled that we've not heard about? How many people? Because I mean, let's get real here. Like I would imagine some people have foiled these plots, and it's not been it's not been publicized.
Right.
And how many people tried to, walked up to some of the security and was like, I'd rather not, and then they didn't either. This absolutely emboldens people. But thank God, I'm not religious, but thank God, saying wise, that nothing bad did actually happen aside from the ear to
Well, we
Trump.
did.
Because whether you like him or hate him, that would have started, and I firmly believe this, and I'll keep saying it, would have started a civil war.
I agree with you.
And I agree with you. And here's the other thing, though, it does need to be pointed out. We did lose somebody. There
Also,
was a gentleman who did
that's
die.
literally what I
fireman.
was just about to say, and also,
Corey,
yeah,
who was a father, a fireman, all those things.
yeah,
Like that needs to be stressed.
Yeah.
And like, again, that's where I was saying before. You usually would think when something like this happens, people finally start to realize maybe we need to tone it down a bit. And there are people.
mm,
I will give credit to. There are quite a few people now on that side of the fence, or whatever you want to say, that have realized that okay, things need to be relaxed for a little bit here. We need to really reassess where we're at here and how hyperbolic everything has gotten.
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we'll
Because you
see.
and I were like the first people to really point out that I noticed that this kid, because
Yeah.
he's a kid, he's younger than my son.
No,
He
8,
has been
9 years.
fed this rhetoric for half of his life.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. It's grooming.
And I'm
It
not
is
making
grooming.
any excuses for him, right? Like, because a bunch of other people his same age have been too, right? Like, that's not the
Mm,
point here. But the point is, my point is I'm like you were just saying, Mr. H, I'm kind of surprised it took this long, to be honest
yeah.
with how bad this has gotten. And that's really what it boils down to: is the schools, the
Mm,
media, the excessive amount of stuff that's been fed to these kids on social media. The things need to come to a head. We need to worry about
yeah.
the next few generations now. But anyway, we need to get into the topics at hand. So I'll shut up.
Yeah, yeah, no. I think people enjoy a little bit, though. It's sort of hanging a lantern on, the current situation. I think people appreciate a little bit of a conversation just briefly. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know in the chat, but I think a little bit of a chit chat about that probably helps people, sort of decompress a little bit from their life and hear some other people talk about it. Sort of helps. Anyway, we do have some we've got a member chat and then we've got a super chat as well. And obviously Jasper's here on my lap, so yay for Jasper. High Def has been a member for 5 months and says, quietly hoping the new Alien film is good. Alvarez seems like he's good. The VHS marketing is genius. It is, yeah. The VHS marketing is genius. Alvarez is objectively good at horror films. It's whether you like his style of horror film that matters. But you will undoubtedly get blood and gore galore with an Alvarez film. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll get more into that as the weeks go on, though. Real quick, William Fleming has super chatted $3 over on Streamlabs and says, follow independent journalist Jimmy Dore on YouTube for the best political coverage. Man, you use the super chat to promote someone else, you son of a gun.
Hey,
Nah, it's fine. I
you can
appreciate it.
follow. You can follow me. That too.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do political journalism, to be fair, but do political
Follow
coverage.
me, everything is
Although, side note,
alright.
actually, do follow me over on Twitter, guys. I've been posting a fair amount on Twitter and some absolute banging one-line tweets that some absolute epic dad jokes. Someone posted a picture of Kanye West's absolute, like, whatever her name is, something sensory. She's got half her tits hanging out and stuff like this. So I was like, someone should sensory this image.
Oh, Hey, I got that.
Look, I found it hilarious. That's been viewed like nearly 300,000 times. All right, that's an epic tweet.
You're clever.
You'll piss off if you don't like it. Okay, it's a great tweet. Um, Graph Web super chats $2 says for F's sake, cancel Disney Plus. Yes, the most consistent bloke on. Just what are you doing on the internet? My dog's getting mental. And another one over on Streamlabs. Again, guys, this show is funded by you guys for you guys, so please do chuck in a buck or two if you can. But Chaos is Fun over on Streamlabs for $3 says, oh, actually, I'll tell you what, we'll get to this in our topic. That one is actually about one of our subjects. So let's just get right into it, and then we'll be able to address that as well. So let's just go. Right, so what is this situation? What are we talking about? Of course, the sort of stinger there, Tenacious D cancelled. That very well could actually be the case. Believe it or not, it could genuinely be that Tenacious D is in fact cancelled. So we're talking, of course, about Tenacious D, Jack Black, Kyle Gass in Australia at the moment, and they, my God, stupid dog, and Kyle Gass came out, and I think it was his birthday. I don't know if it was a bit, but it was his birthday. They bring out a birthday cake for him. It's like, make a wish, blow out the candles, and he made a really stupid remark, which was, don't miss Trump next time. Obviously relating to the assassination attempt. And there's a few things to go into there. Just real quick, I'll make my position very, very clear. And I've said it a few times now, so people that know my position, you know this, but let's just make it clear again. I don't think anything is off limits for a joke. Like, I genuinely don't, because the audience is who dictates whether something is joke worthy or not, right? Society actually regulates itself in that fashion, and as a society we have become far too mollycoddled, and society doesn't self-regulate anymore. That's why some really stupid opinions are allowed to flourish while others are sort of silenced, and some good opinions are silenced, etc., etc. Now, joking is one thing, obviously. Like, a joke is a joke, but it's not a joke from these people. And this isn't to say I'm the arbiter of jokes. It's very, very clear that it's not a joke from these people. If, say, Donald Trump died, right, let's just say for argument's sake, he, did actually get hit, which was very, very close to happening. Do you think that these individuals would bat an eyelid? No, obviously not. Do you think Mark Hamill would probably jump straight on Twitter and actually go, yeah, celebrate, woo, 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 like an utter scumbag that he is now? Yeah, absolutely. So it's not a joke when someone from that particular sort of ideological slant, because that's what it is now, this sort of venomous disdain for an individual that they don't even know. It's an ideology, right? They bought this Trump derangement ideology, hook, line, and sinker. So that's not a joke from them. So saying, don't miss Trump next time. There's a few things there. Obviously, it's really distasteful. It's quite gross. You shouldn't wish political violence upon anyone. You wish political violence on your enemies. God help you when it comes to you, right? That's not smart. It's really not smart. Secondly, someone fucking died, right? Have some goddamn respect. Like, genuinely have some respect, right? Someone died, and an actual day-to-day hero, someone that had put their life on the line regularly as a firefighter and died saving other people, right? I have some respect. So he made this stupid remark on Twitter. Anyway, it's not said in any of the mainstream articles, but on Twitter, it's saying that actually the venues in Australia cancelled on Tenacious D. Cancelled on Tenacious D. We also have this individual, part of the Senate for Australia, basically said, deport him. Just deport him. Absolutely deport him. He called for political violence, deport him. And they also cross-reference the time that they locked up Novak Djokovic and deported him because he apparently undermined public trust in a vaccination program. So it's quite difficult to argue with that, when you have a precedent that's already been set for something isn't really that major, to be fair. In fact, you're not going to get too deep in anything else, but when it comes to vaccinations and things like that, it's been pretty much proven that all the naysayers against it were, probably right to say things against it. So what happened? Well, all those shows got cancelled, and Jack Black came out and gave this. I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour. And this is the clincher as to why it's potentially that Tenacious D's done and all future creative plans are on hold. So that's interesting. It's not 100% clear cut. It could just be creative plans with Tenacious D that they've got in motion at the moment, right? But who knows? We don't know. I'm grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. Also, I mean, he didn't have a choice in some of the tour being cancelled. It was cancelled on him. Then we had Kyle came out and gave a statement as well and just said, the line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I've caused. At the end of the day, it's a tricky line to walk, isn't it? Right? Because I'm not a proponent of cancel culture, and it's not like a but. However, the consequences of his actions have been people have cancelled on them, and it looks like maybe Jack Black is pretty annoyed because also it did apparently turn out that the management dropped Kyle as well as a result of this. And so it's difficult, really. It's difficult to conjure up any amount of fucks to give that this individual has been cancelled, because this type of rhetoric and cancel culture from this ideological side of the aisle, they love cancel culture. They love it. They promote it all the time. And these individuals kind of never learn unless you treat them as they're treated. So it's a bit difficult for me to care that much. But I don't care that they've been cancelled, I guess. Because I just don't. I think at the end of the day, have some respect. Someone is dead. Have a moral compass at the very least. And to say again, improv, inappropriate, you don't condone violence. Again, make no mistake, this individual would not care if he had died. He would not care if Trump had died. And that's wrong. I myself, I don't actually particularly care about Trump, right? As an individual, I would much prefer America to have younger politicians, right? He is the best of the politicians running, like genuinely. But is he the best possible thing? No, of course he's not. But I don't wish anyone to die, right? Biden, clearly, a geriatric moron and a puppet. I don't wish him to die, right? And so this is the issue, isn't it? Have a moral compass at the end of the day. So anyway, I'll shut up. Over to you, Culture. I'd love to get your sort of outlook on all of this.
Well, I think they didn't have a choice. Not only did the venues not have a choice, but also they have some other issues that came along. Somebody mentioned last night on a panel I was on that insurance on this would be going up astronomically, amongst a bunch of other things. And I know Tom
that's supposedly the reason, that the venues were canceled is because of the insurance problem.
Yeah, and there's going to be all kinds of problems when you're instigating this going forward. You're going to have people picking sides. It doesn't matter that you're in Australia. Australia thinks they're like the 51st state sometimes, and we love them a lot. And they deserve that. But when you look at what's happening, just with these two gentlemen's apologies, one was out of his mind, the other one was out of his mind, but more thoughtful. Because Jack Black kept it together and didn't go off on his partner on stage, but I assure you, there was an interesting conversation afterwards. Even though they did get a chuckle out of the audience. Look, there's no love lost for.
I think that was hearing just as many jeers as I was chuckling at that point. But
yeah, there's no love lost for Trump, and I get that. But at the same time, a lot of people look up to him. There are people who actually somehow look up to Biden. that's neither here nor there. What's important is that we value human life. And if you like to go off and say you do, and you come at it from a different perspective, that's perfectly fine. No one will judge you for that. But in this case, you can't be about protecting human life and at the same time, celebrate something like this, or possibly, potentially. Now, mind you, these people could have also celebrated something much worse. I mean, that's the other thing, what would we have heard right after the events of that terrible catastrophe? You would have heard people like Mark Hamill and others saying equally stupid things.
Mark Hamill
And
would have loved it if he died.
They'd have had
Right.
meme that, what was that? The Flash meme or whatever, where he's right by the grave. They would have had all that shit. You and I, we all know it.
We also know that we would have been at war. And that's what these knuckleheads just don't get. I mean, I will not for a moment pretend that we would have been in any other thing was a possibility. Anybody who does just isn't really paying attention, for lack of a better way of saying things. There would have been quite the bit of turmoil, and ultimately, as you mentioned before, we'd be sitting in a civil war. These apologies are a good start, but honestly, Jack Black's just trying to protect what's left of his career now. Because public sentiment has changed, Tom. You can't deny that.
Yeah, no, and the other thing is with this whole it gets worse than these. Like, right, this is one of the worst ones, right? Where Kyle basically said what a lot of other people are saying on Twitter: shouldn't have missed, or next time don't miss, right? Implying exactly what Culture and you were saying. And to me, look, I'm with you. Like, there's nothing wrong with just about any joke in the world if it's funny, if it has context and it has meaning. But I mean, you also have to look at it in a sense, like I was bringing up earlier. We've had a lot of people lose their jobs over simply supporting the president, right? Like, it was like, okay, you're a Trumper, well, you get the hell out of here. And they would cancel these folks for nothing other than supporting him, right? And now you have people that are actually saying, "Oh, damn, they missed," or in some cases, nearly calling for somebody to try again. And it's like, if you can't see, and if you can't see the problem in that, then we've gone way far beyond, way far beyond. Because I mean, look, I get it. A lot of these kids have no idea, but I wasn't alive when JFK or RFK happened, but I can imagine what the world might have been like after that. I grew up during seeing the Reagan video constantly for like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months. They were talking about it constantly. Like, it's one of those things when these things happen. There's been a few events where these have happened, and they're not something to be celebrated, right? I get it. I'm not saying that jokes can't be made in the future. We can make plenty of Lincoln jokes, but you know when probably the time wasn't good to make a Lincoln joke? Right after he died. Like, it's the temp in the room. Even South Park, who has this thing where nothing is off limits, right? Even they did the whole joke or the episode about when is it safe to start joking about something, right? Because they even put it out. Yes, there is a time period where you probably shouldn't, but then it gets to a point. Yeah, you can start. It's that part of the past that you can kind of look at it in a different way. But right now, we're in a fever pitch. We're at a point where things could just pop off. And you've got people saying, look, I don't condone political violence or any sort of violence, but... And then they turn around and victim blame. And it's like, you're the same people who have spent years doing this kind of crap to this man, and you can't even stop when we came that close. Like you said, you may not be a very religious person. I wouldn't exactly say I'm devout, but after this stuff the other day, it's like, I'm almost saying there's got to be some sort of divine intervention, because you couldn't have. The only other way this happens is we're in the middle of the deepest crap we've ever been in our lifetime right now, had it gone the other way. And I think the left should wake up and say, oh my gosh, we got a second chance here. This is our second chance to make things right. We have to show our true colors. And there have been some people coming out and saying specifically what, you should say in a situation like this. Tim Robbins is a good example. Bill Maher is another one. Somebody who actually has an actual reason to have some TDS, because Trump sued him, for F's sake. He's coming out here and pointing out that this guy just won the election for Trump, basically, in so many words, and he doesn't condone any of this stuff, and this is insane, and this is the worst possible thing that could have happened. Not, and not just because of political reasons, but just because, right? We've gotten to this point where things have gone too far. And when you have so many people on that side who are not even seeing this opportunity, whether you're divine person or believe in divine intervention or not, this is it. Like if this is basically a higher power saying you got one last shot because that guy almost got killed. He didn't. And this is the time. Because like you just said, had this happened, how many of these people would be celebrating? And if you want to feel bad for Jack and Kyle, fine. I'll tell you this right now. This is the least of what could have happened. Had they come out and said this, had he actually died, just imagine how much worse it could be and how many like other people would be even more canceled right now. As far as this goes, Jack is just as woke and lefty as Kyle is. And he said thank you right after it. I honestly, Culture, I will disagree. I don't think Jack thought there was a problem until the next day. And
I agree with that.
And by that point, it was too late. And Jack just watched his entire career being pulled away from him by his fat little buddy who he's been carrying for the last 2 decades. Because let's be real, nobody hardly anybody in this audience probably even knows who Kyle Gass is if you're not a Jack Black Tenacious D fan, right? So in this sense, Jack is looking at it like, man, you're more poison to me right now than you're helping me. That's why he lost his agency. Because the only money he's bringing in is Tenacious TDS money. That's it. Guess what? Yeah. There is no more Tenacious TDS money. It's gone. Jack is probably sitting there going, it's all gone. We lost all these venues. We're probably going to get sued. Tenacious D is done. We're done. And they haven't been in the best of shape in the last few years anyway, since their movie flopped. They had barely been able to get records out. I was one of the original big fans of Tenacious D. I've been talking about this lately. Like, I'm sick of being called a gatekeeper. We were gateway nerds. We were the gateway to this kind of stuff like Tenacious D and Star Wars and Star Trek and this nerdy crap. But guess what? I'm turning the faucet off now. I'm glad they come out and apologized, but I feel more like this apology is because they see the rug being pulled out from underneath them. And Jack Black is a brand. And he is seeing his brand go down in flames because of what Kyle said. And guess what? Kyle ain't worth that much to him. Not at this juncture. Not when all these jobs were just lost and possible lawsuits they could be facing. And people are probably wondering what kind of, well, there's money that's spent on these things. This tour was supposed to go up through, I don't know how long, because they were going to be up in my neck of the woods in October. So that means this was a very long tour that they were planning here. That's gone, done. How many people now just lost their jobs?
Yeah. I just want to, I wanted to highlight.
Sorry, I had to go off on that because I've been a huge Tenacious D fan my whole life.
That's right. I wanted to highlight this though.
So close to just tossing my discs.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight this though. Because when we're talking about people apologizing and things like that, here's someone that just chose to double down. Now, loads of people might be like, well, who the hell is Destiny? I'll show you in a minute. For those that don't know who Destiny is, and I will show you what it looks like. Destiny is a left-leaning online debater, right? He's also a cuck. So that's a genuine thing. Like, he is an actual cuck. This is what he said about the chap that unfortunately died. And here's another one. Basically, have fun in hell. And he came out and doubled down even further with all of this rhetoric. This guy is an awful individual. And this is the type of person, this is what he looks like. This is not photoshopped. This is genuinely what Destiny looks like. This is the type of person calling for.
Did you see my comment?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I was a little mean.
I'm gonna tap my own horn on this one. Great tweet. Destiny's so manly. I bet his pronouns are muscular and Chad. All right, that is.
I thought his beach photo was more impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But this is the type of stuff that this is the individual that. Yeah, just doubles down. Like, at the very least, like Jack Black and things like that. Yeah, awful. They need to, they've come out and said all this stuff. I get it. They're only doing it because they've been sort of caught and stuff like that. But at least they're trying to put out a fire from that perspective. I just thought I'd show you the other side of that aisle where someone's just like, no, I don't care. Like, I'm so deranged I want political violence, and yet you still, I mean, you literally are like 5'2", and you look like, a walking, I don't know, cell of estrogen or something. Like the guy is just like,
Didn't
I
yeah,
don't
but didn't
understand what he is.
didn't Elon
He
demonetize
looks
him?
inbred, for fuck's sake.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has been demonetized by Elon, and of course he
Yeah.
freaked out over it. But
Yeah,
it's like,
good.
dude, you're basically calling for violence. That's
Yeah.
clear.
Well, he should.
Honestly, you shouldn't just be demonetized. Honestly, people are making the point that he should be just booted from X because he's violated X amount of rules
Yes.
already. But hey,
Yeah, he broke a lot of the community guidelines. But I didn't want to labor on this too much. I think we've sort of covered that pretty well. At the end of the day, it'll be interesting to see what happens from here now moving forwards. I mean, look, Jack Black is not exactly a massive star. He does a bit of voice acting here and there, and that's it. That is it. So this could be the end of Tenacious D and his career in terms of that, because that we keep talking about this pendulum swinging. It has now started to swing. I said, and I stand by this, and I'm hoping this is it. I said it needs to get worse before it gets better. I'm hoping what's happened is the worst, and now it's going to get better. I hope it doesn't get worse.
this
from
might
here.
actually be the final
Hmm.
I've talked about that for a while. I mean, I know we've kind of been in the.
I thought
but,
we
like,
were in the. I thought we were in it already, Tom.
I
mean,
think
it's
we
just-
were. This might be
yeah.
the final whimper now. That I mean, and maybe this Saturday kind of expedited this whole thing.
Well, I think we reached the musical term crescendo.
Yes, because
Yeah.
we were at this point where things were kind of. I mean, you even got like this week's a great example, and I hope this isn't a story so I don't step on it. But Twisters is coming out, and they are promoting it with the idea that this has no environmental message, guys. So just be clear, and the director's going out there and saying it's just about sometimes movies should be entertaining and they don't have to be all about the message. So I'm wondering if people are actually starting to listen, or if the ESG money just dried up. But either way, I mean, when you have Disney and other people that are just completely doubling down on this stuff, like everybody else is seemingly like running scared from it at this point. And I think that's a good sign, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have a bunch of super chats actually pertaining to this. So we've got one from Chaos is Fun. This is the one that I was supposed to get to at the start. But it was covered in this basically. So it says, for those celebs like that Fat F has been Kyle Gass and Pooh Stabber George Takei deserve all the mockery and ruin bestowed upon them, and finishing them with being ostracized into irrelevance. And I can only hope I can have the bravery shown by Corey. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, R.I.P. To Corey. Died literally saving people.
Yeah, his daughter.
So yeah. I mean, his loved ones,
His family.
So,
Yeah, I just
pretty crazy.
Yeah, he didn't duck down behind the podium.
No, I mean that's a hero, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
We've got one from Archer Merchant over on YouTube. Guys, please do send them via Streamlabs. You send them via YouTube. YouTube has taken 30%. So Archer Merchant, YouTube's taken $3 of these dollars, my dude. Says, it looks to me like they, Tenacious D, effed around and found out. If it had been widely praised, they'd probably be singing a different tune, but many seem to be waking up to the double standard, even if slowly. Yeah.
Yeah, what's sad is in
you're
America, they probably could have got away with saying this, but they said it in Canada, I believe it was.
No,
where they were at.
Australia.
It was Australia.
Was it Australia? I
Australia.
thought he said something about Canada. Somebody did.
Yeah, everybody has been saying it, including me. Had been misinformed.
I was gonna say because they are in Australia, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I said it was
Anyway,
Australia.
Oh, by the
Fuck
way,
said it's Canada.
Tom, bring that super back up, because the guy had a cool picture. Take me gnome tonight.
Love that. Love that. Great.
Thank you, Archer.
Luandera, I think. So
Yeah.
I butchered that, man. Sorry. Says the left betray their thoughts because they think the right would do to them what they wish on other people.
Yes.
Always wishing harm on their enemies because they
Yeah.
have no argument. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a strong moral compass, I mean, you're not that you abhor everything that they have been saying. It's just gross. It's disgusting. Again, I think Biden's clearly a puppet, for someone, and he's clearly an old geriatric senile moron, but I wouldn't wish harm on him. Like, it's just why?
Look,
Like,
I didn't mean bullseye, okay? I meant crosshairs.
oh dear, it's about the
Oh,
same.
boy.
That's an actual quote.
Yeah, I know.
Like he thinks there's a difference. It's like what? One's on one end and one's on the other. What's the hell's the difference?
Jesus. Terrible. We got one from Kalichioki for $2 over on Streamlabs. Says Carl apologized. Notice how there isn't a single hint of an apology in Jack Black's statement. These people don't know how to apologize.
No.
I mean,
well, because
he
they've been
didn't say anything. So
No.
To be fair, yeah,
But
it's
they-
Kyle that did this. And
But-
at the same time, go ahead, Culture. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say, but look, that's not part of their training. Their normal training here with Darvo is to pivot it back and become the victim. That's their normal. There's a feedback loop that's there that they're trying to complete. So Darvo, if in case you are curious what it is deny, attack, reverse, victim, offend. You make the other person the offender. So you first attack somebody, then at the end you just claim that they were the true victim, and then they move on. So you if you see that happening, call it out. It's a tactic of the extreme left. So
William Fleming, Super Chat $3 says 22.3 years, Tom. I don't know what that's in reference to. Chaos is fun. Super Chat $3 says also, if it had succeeded, I could see a scenario in which in America in disarray, China would take the opportunity to take Taiwan, more aggressive actions from both NATO and Russia and Ukraine, and the conflict escalating in the Middle East. Yeah, I agree with all of that. Cable Watson says, H, what's your favorite Tenacious D song? I don't really have one. If I had to choose, greatest song in the world, I guess, but that's it.
Tribute is probably their best song,
Yeah, Tribute. Another one from Luandera here says, again, guys, Streamlabs. Do it on Streamlabs, not YouTube. They're taking a lot of money here. Says a lot of the elite are out of the paradigm now. They don't understand what makes them boo, makes us cheer. A shift that has happened. Trump is our emperor of mankind now. He will take us to the promised land, flawed as he is.
maybe don't oversell him.
I was going to say that's a bit hyperbolic.
Yeah,
and that's part of the problem. But yeah, it's all good.
Your sentiment, I agree with in its entirety. I think the United States is the last beacon on the hill at the moment. The rest of the world is trying to.
It can change the status quo in the West overall. It can remove
very quickly
and things like
that.
that.
Yeah, and that's actually a quote that came out of one of the sycophants for that WEF knucklehead. Right? Do you have that one?
Yeah, I don't have it here, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the guy that works with Klaus Schwab.
Yeah. They're very worried. This is an existential situation for them because the mechanisms here in the States can be dismantled like that.
Yeah,
and then once those are globally exposed, things change. And we also have them doing very bad things. And it basically allowing for global control by just unaccountable people, whether it be a military organization like NATO or a governing body like the UN. I said to Europe when this happened, if the EU is nothing but an economic machine, that's fine. But the minute it became a governing machine, you were screwed because you all sacrificed your sovereignty.
Yep.
So there you are.
Mexican Iron Man Super Chat $10 says, well, I hate to be that guy, but frankly, I would not mind sending this Destiny guy a Christmas present early in July. The twist, I would send him a new baby Romulus Xenomorph as a cuddly buddly. Yep, I agree. That would be good. Guy's a douche. And last but not least, on the topic of all of this, I guess, Israel R says, hello, H and panel. I appreciate your views on the impact of what's happening in the US. Question, to change the mood a bit, predictions on Deadpool hitting $1 billion. Ooh. I think it will hit $1 billion. I think it may struggle to actually hit $1 billion, though, because it is an R-rated film with a very niche sense of humor. It's not ragging on Marvel. I think people are overlooking this fact, though. That's all. You know, it is an R-rated movie, and it does have a really quite niche sense of humor. And Marvel is still not in everyone's good books. So you got to
That may be
pile
true, but
all of that together. I think it will
if-
struggle. I think it will hit one, but I don't think it'll be as big a slam dunk as people think. I could be wrong. Probably will be. But there you go. What do you guys think?
I'll be controversial a little bit and say I disagree. In fact, I think it's not going to struggle at all to hit the billion. It may be the 2 billion, but never
I don't think it's ever
underestimate
gonna
the
hit 2
female
billion.
audience that this is going to bring in. And we kind of discussed this just a short bit before the show,
Mm.
because this is one of the few franchises I noticed that has a large female demographic. And you got 2 of the most hottest men in this movie. Never underestimate women, especially if there's some scenes with like Ryan Reynolds or whatever shirtless, or what's his face shirtless, more so because Ryan Reynolds looks like
Hugh
Freddy Krueger
Jackman
in
in
this.
that. But
But yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Like women like these 2. I think that's going to be a big factor here. I think women have been a big factor in Inside Out 2. They really did, helped Barbie become the biggest movie of last year. So I would not count them out as an audience, because that's one thing that I have noticed is out of all my friends and girlfriends that I've had over the last few years and such, Deadpool is one of the exceptions. Even the ones that don't like comic book movies like Deadpool.
Well, let me piss on your parade a little bit there, Tom. So both Deadpool movies only made both of them in the $780 million. Literally,
This
both
is
of them,
true.
$780 million. And just real quick, Logan, another R-rated movie, only managed to scrape, and it was the last one as well, $619 million. So I actually do think I'm right.
You might be,
I know your
but
opinion.
you're
I'm just trying to
combining the 2. But I'm
contextualize
saying
things,
you're
yeah.
combining the 2. That's a little bit different story here, so we'll have to wait and see.
But also the mood of Marvel, like the general vibe from people.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to affect it as much as people think until
Yeah.
if word of mouth gets out there and this thing is all TVA and modern new Marvel bullshit and stuff like that, then I think that'll be a problem. But if it's just another cameo fest, kind of like No Way Home, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, it has a chance.
It's never going. I'm going to say it now. It's never hitting $2 billion. Like never, ever.
I will
what do you
say-
reckon? Quick.
I've learned
culture
never
or-
say never in
Yeah,
this world now.
just to add my 2 cents here. I think it'll struggle to get to $1 billion. I'm in agreement with you. I think it will get to $1 billion. I think it'll struggle to get there, and that's better than I gave it before. I figured the top end for this was about 925, and I'm willing to give it another $75 million. Why not?
All right, there you go. Hopefully that answered your question, Israel, my dude. Do appreciate you supporting the channel. We've got 2 other super chats before we move on to one of our next topics. So these are just not related to anything. These are just another 2 new super chats. TGV Monster for $4.99 says, I wish they would bring back awesome Space Marines in future Alien movies. They're a cool concept. I agree. But maybe we'll be getting that in the TV show. You never know, because I know that there are soldiers in the TV show. So hopefully we'll be getting some of that there. SFX something. I'm not reading all that out. Sabretooth Raptor for $5 says, recast Glenn Powell as Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, Sydney Sweeney as Leia, Chris Pratt as Han, Tom Cruise as Kenobi, Gracie Bonn as Mon Mothma, or other character. I don't know who's Gracie Bonn. What? I don't know who that is. I'd watch it. I mean, look, put Sydney Sweeney in anything, I'll be watching Sydney Sweeney. All right. So, you want to chuck her in stuff, I'll watch. I will watch. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney would be a great Leia. Thank you.
I think so too. Not going to lie.
I like boobs.
They'd have to redesign the Jedi cloak, though. Just for me. To look at Sydney Sweeney, obviously. Anyway, shall we move on? Shall we move on to something funny after that sort of pretty intense stuff? Let's move on to something funny. Guys, we are funded by you guys, for you guys. Pretty big demonetization. We're probably demonetized now. So, obviously, all those super chats were great. Genuinely, thank you so much. You helped keep the lights on. But YouTube did take 30% of the majority of them, because a lot of it was just sent over on YouTube. Please send them via Streamlabs. It's the pinned chat at the top of the live chat, or it's the link down below in the description box. Anyway, that being said, let's get to something good bit of fun. I know you'll love this one, Tom. To be fair, and that's no sarcasm. You will love this. This is great.
I heard about this.
So, for those who don't know, there's a Toxic Avenger remake.
Yeah.
With Peter Dinklage, bizarrely as Toxie. Loads of people have been wondering what the hell's going on. Where is it? It's been done for a while. And it's deemed unreleasable. They remade something, they spent money on it, and we're never getting it. So basically, they can't sell it. I said, well, yeah, no shit. Like, why did you make it in the first place? So Macon Blair's remake of the Toxic Avenger starring Peter Dinklage released a teaser in October. Ever since, it's been crickets and we haven't heard much about it. They released the teaser to potentially get people talking about it, to instigate a sale, and a sale never came. So Blair's film, rated R for strong violence, screened at a handful of genre film festivals. The reviews have been so-so. They've not been that great. But basically no distributor. So a producer told World of Real that the film is unreleasable and that its commercial prospects are too out there for theatrical release. They believe that if the film does get picked up, it would most likely go straight to VOD or streaming. If it had great reviews, then maybe the forecast would be a little rosier, but there isn't much potential. It's too niche. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it on Tubi a few years from now. And so it says this as well. Filmmaker and producer Adam Masnick recently took to Twitter and confirmed that the film has been deemed not safe enough to market, which he claims is why no one has stepped up to distribute it. When all is said and done, it could maybe even turn out to be lost media. It's going in the bin.
Not safe enough to market. I've never heard that before. What the hell?
So funny.
Have they seen the original movie? Like, and this is supposed to be a PG-13 version of it.
And this is R-rated, apparently.
Oh, is it? I thought they were doing a PG-13.
Apparently it's R-rated. This is Elijah Wood, everyone in the chat. This is Elijah Wood, which I'm just going to say, look, I think this is a disastrous, this movie would suck. But I'd pay to watch it just to see Elijah Wood doing this. What is going on? And here's Peter Dinklage in a tutu randomly before he becomes Toxie.
I mean, so, I kind of wanted to see this movie out of just pure morbid curiosity because I'm a big fan of the original series, but I wouldn't sit there and say it's like The Godfather or anything like that. It's a very tongue-in-cheek. It's not even a B movie. It's more like a Z level movie. It's Lloyd Kaufman's most famous franchise, and I mean they've been trying to sell this for over a year now. Why don't they just release it on streaming? I don't understand. What do you mean unreleasable?
I think they obviously want money, don't they? But
but you put it on streaming and you just get what you get out of it, I guess. That's where I'm coming from. I don't know. Even Hulu wouldn't give them money for this? Like,
apparently not. I mean, how garbage is this going to be if even, well, Hulu's been putting out some good stuff lately, to be fair. So. But yeah, look at this.
Yeah, but I mean, it couldn't have cost that much to where, I mean, even, Hulu or Netflix, I can't imagine wouldn't give them like, well, hell, even Twitter could buy it as a movie at this point. I mean, he's starting to do stuff, but like
$20 is $20.
Yeah, $20 is $20 at this point. I mean, can you really make that? I can't imagine that they think they're going to make that much more out of canning this movie over some kind of write-off as opposed to just throwing it on video on demand or trying to sell it to Netflix or Hulu for $20 million is what I was trying to say. I mean, yeah, that's even low end, but let's be real. Like you just said, Culture, $20 is $20. Like, I don't know. It just makes no sense to me.
I don't know. It's so funny. So funny.
You've got two bankable stars in this. How is it? What was the word again?
Unreleasable.
No, not the unreleasable one. The
not safe enough.
Not safe enough to market.
Yep.
Yeah. What? I've never heard that term before.
Well, I've just found another article actually which maybe explains some of this stuff. So apparently, in an interview with Slash Film at Austin's Fantastic Fest, Blair, the director, shared that there's at least one moment in the Toxic Avenger that was shot by the so-called Butt Guts unit. The unit's where is this? The unit's title was apparently apt and only came about because Legendary, the studio back in the film's production, told Blair he could get a little bit more money to shoot some additional fun stuff. One of those fun bits was to add some gory flair to a scene in a restaurant where Toxie is fighting some dudes in a restaurant. I was like, I think what we should do is Toxie will take his mop and he's going to rip this guy's pants down. And one of the assistant editors on the movie named Delaney, she just goes like, he's going to rip his guts out of his butt? Question. And I was like, nope. Yes. So that nope yes spawned the Butt Guts unit, who had one day to create, as Blair described it, a fake butt that had a cavity in the middle that you can pull intestines out of. So certainly not PG-13 there, Tom.
Okay, I guess not. I'd originally heard that they were shooting for a PG-13. Maybe that's part of the problem too.
This just sounds garbage anyway. Like,
Yeah, well, again, I didn't expect it to be anything good. I wanted to see it out of just pure morbid curiosity. I mean, it's not like the sequels to the original are anything to really write home about either. I mean, the original's barely a decent film. It's just batshit crazy. And I mean, are they saying it because it's too toxic?
wait, that's as bad as my joke.
No, I mean, actually being kind of serious here. I mean, did they actually go all out with this movie? And because look, Lloyd Kaufman is not the most politically correct.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. It's comical though, whatever it is. So, but yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not going to be released. I think this is going to go down as a tax break. To be fair, this will just get lost now. This will go the way.
Which sucks because I really did want to see this, especially just to see how crazy, like you said, Elijah Wood gets it.
Yeah, my God.
People did get to see this at what was it, Comic-Con or CinemaCon? One of the two.
Fright Fest and things like that. There's been a bunch of
Yeah, it's been in a few places where people have seen it, but
yeah. What do you think there, Culture, mate?
Just release it. Give it to somebody. Put it on Tubi. Give it to Roku. Do something.
we get stuck with The Crow, but we don't get to see this. That's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna be bummed out by The Crow, but we're gonna be not watching this. This is the car crash we all want. Okay, this is it.
Yeah,
right?
no one holds the Toxic Avenger to some high standard, right? That's what I'm
No.
saying. Yeah.
No, this should be a glorious disaster, and some of the best cult films ever are terrible.
True. Yeah, you're not
So-
wrong. That's cool. That is cool. Archer Merchant super chatted $5 over on Streamlabs. Thank you so much, my dude. Says missed opportunity if it doesn't release to have Rachel Zegler cameo as a random monster number 2. Agree with that. Yeah, that would be funny, my dude. Also, we've got some. So we've got a membership milestone of 20 months. From Daryl Brewer says, just sending some love to the channel. Make sure and read the name properly, please. I think I've done that. Unlike one of your co-hosts, Cough Culture. Have you misdone his name?
What? How do you
mess up
How do
his
you-
name?
how do you mess up Daryl Brewer?
Okay,
What's
so
wrong
the
with
name
you?
I selected in the chat before I read his super chat was Daniel.
Sounds like
So my brain left it in there, and I went down to his, clicked the
Boomer.
super chat, and said Daniel Brewer.
You know what this is sounding an awful lot like there, mate?
Biden. Thank you.
No, it's sounding an awful lot like your cyber spunk.
Oh, well, there you go.
Misspeak that.
Hey,
that-
Donald
that-
Brewer. I got some cyber spunk right here.
Oh my God.
You guys suck.
Captain
sorry,
Fandom.
Not
Captain
Cyberspunk.
Fandom Nerd's been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much, my dude. And Doug, VA Loves Horror, has been a member for 3 months. Says, I've enjoyed Maxine and Longlegs, but I could not stop laughing at Nicolas Cage every time he was on screen. I think because I grew up watching him. That's fair. I mean, I didn't see him as Longlegs at all, to be fair. I saw the character, but I think that's fair. That's fair to say. Not everyone's reaction would be the same. William Fleming, super chat $1, says, am I the only one who would pay $20 to see that butt gut scene. I'm just upset. I'd just be upset if they didn't watermelon a kid with a car. Brilliant.
I guess you have to remember the movie to get that reference. A kid gets his head squashed by a car. It looks like a watermelon. Like, I don't know, maybe in some weird demented way in my background, in my head canon, like we're sitting here and there's like all these studios have turned it down. There's one studio left, one possible studio that's interested in it. Cut to the boardroom, and the head guy who has the choice to make just happens to be a little person, and they're like,
Yeah.
you gonna buy this Toxic Avenger movie thing?
Who's in it?
Peter Dinklage.
That little
Oh.
bastard! Fuck him!
And it's like retaliation for what he did to Snow White.
That could work.
I know that's not true. It's just probably because the movie's that bad. And I don't think people have a sense of humor anymore either, probably.
Dear, oh dear, that's funny. I like it. Hold on one second.
You're an angry elf.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just checking something. Someone said final Alien Romulus trailers here. It's not. I've just looked online, so no, it's not.
I saw that too. Yeah.
That's not online. I've just looked. Unless it's somewhere else that is not in the normal spots, like the official YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, doubt it. Anyway, let's shuffle on. So, yeah, let's move on to one of our next topics, our next segment here, guys. Thank you to everyone supporting the channel as well. I do appreciate that. But yeah, this is an interesting one, bit of fun. So Disney got hacked. Disney have confirmed that they have been hacked as well. 1.1 terabytes of data. Quite a lot of information. And yeah, it's quite big. There's been a whole bunch of reveals from it. Some pretty small, some bigger than others, which we'll get to. One of them was like Aliens Fireteam Elite was getting a sequel. I don't think anyone really cares about that, but fine. And it's all for all their sort of Slack channels, so how they're sort of communicating on things like that. But then also, one of the interesting things which was revealed, and I do think this is interesting, Jeremy Renner had an app. All right, I know it sounds really dumb. He had his own app, and it got shut down. He blamed online trolls. Turns out it was Disney, which is interesting. This is probably the most interesting thing that's come out thus far from the Disney hack. Don't expect great stuff, but this is interesting because you remember Disney likes to blame toxic fans all the time. I mean, it could just be them. So basically, Jeremy Renner had an app, right? Jeremy Renner Official. That's what it was called. It was a Jeremy Renner app. It was an app where you could, it was basically like a forum, and where Jeremy Renner would share his singing and photos, and it's like an all-in-one Jeremy Renner app, which is fine, you know. Kudos to him, I guess, for setting it up for fans. You know, you did have to pay for it and stuff, but people paid for it and it was successful. Anyway, it got shut down. So this is some screenshots of it, by the way. Here you go. Jeremy Renner Official. It was a real thing. Connect with two-time Academy Award nominee Jeremy Renner on his official app. Exclusive content, exciting giveaways, cool prizes. I mean, it's clearly just for fans of him, and he's a dude for setting it up. I think that's quite cool, to be fair. Good on him. So,
you know,
it got shut down.
I think it needs to be noted that Jeremy Renner is the only actual Avenger to actually save somebody in real life. True story.
Yeah, true. So in 2019, New York Times says they published an article saying the rise and fall of the Jeremy Renner app, which was a real thing. Online trolls ruined the app which allowed the Avengers actor to connect with and monetize his superfans. He released at the time this. The app has jumped the shark, literally, due to clever individuals that were able to manipulate ways to impersonate me and others within the app. I've asked EscapeX, the company that runs this app, to shut it down immediately and refund anyone who's purchased any stars over the last 90 days. What was supposed to be a place for fans to connect with each other has turned into a place that is everything I detest and can't or won't condone. My sincere apologies for this to have not turned out the way it was intended. To all the super fans who have supported me with your words of encouragement, amazing art, stories, and time shared on the app, a genuine thank you. And I hope to see you on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Right? Just as, if this was true, he could have just got the developers to change something in the code, and it would have fixed whatever it was that was causing the issue. That's not true, though, is it? So yeah, got found out in the Disney files. So just going through, Disney forced Jeremy Renner to shut down the Jeremy Renner app using a non-compete clause in his Marvel contract. Internal emails show they saw it as a legitimate threat to Disney Plus and possibly all other media as well.
Interesting.
I mean, this is the most ridiculous and stupid
They
thing
want
ever
control.
but it's dumb anyway, because Jeremy Renner's popularity only feeds into the popularity of the franchises that he's in. How utterly stupid. So that's it. That's the story. What do you guys think?
I think it's hilarious that they won't let him do that, but yet Mark Hamill and all these other suckers can go run around doing all they want to do, say whatever they want to say. That's no big deal. What is wrong with Jeremy? Is he possibly a little conservative?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling. Here's the thing. I know two people who know him personally, which is funny because they're two completely different stories, or at least feelings on the person. One's an older story, so that one it was probably when he was young and being a prick, because that person didn't like him. But another individual who knows him and actually worked with him and said he's an amazing guy and is probably one of the most conservative people I know. So, and he didn't say anything about him being a wackadoo Hollywood type. And there's a type of person that Taylor Sheridan seems to hire. Sylvester Stallone, Kevin Costner.
Yeah, normal people, basically, a bit bait.
Just saying, just putting it out there. Not saying that's the reason. Just putting it out.
Dear, oh dear.
Well, Anna's publicly said she don't like him. That's not the individual I was talking about.
Why? Why don't you like Jeremy?
I have no idea. I think she met him once and they didn't get along. I don't remember the whole story. She once babysat for him. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I know two people have actually worked with him. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Mm. What do you think, Culture? I think this is hilarious, by the way. But yeah.
Well, I mean, my takeaway is going to be the same. It always is. I have a feeling that this was killed by Disney, so they didn't have to compete with him, and they weren't going to be in a position where they were embarrassed by him. They didn't lose another star to a controversial but directly honest and truthful statement, because you wouldn't want that if you're Disney. If you ask me, in my opinion, I think that's what happened. I think that he didn't even say anything, because I mean, some of the conversation here was that he was the one that issued that statement. No, he didn't. It was somebody on a team that was running this app for him. My suggestion is that it was maybe his personal assistant that would have conversations with the development team behind this.
Couldn't discourage Disney. That's probably part of it too, Culture. So he had to come up with a stupid excuse.
Yeah. Well, I think Disney gave it to him. I think Disney made him quit.
Oh, well, that excuse or whatever. But no, we know they did. They sent him a cease and desist on it or whatever, probably. Yeah, if you're not been paying attention. Yeah.
Come on, Culture. We literally said Disney got him to stop because of a Marvel non-compete clause.
No, but my point is, I don't believe that he was the person that issued the statement that was, critical of the fans.
That's plausible too, but
that's the only point I was making. Yes, I'm very familiar with the story. So yeah,
right. Yeah, no.
That's my point though. Is that
No.
he had to do that because he couldn't say anything disparaging about Marvel or Disney, though. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what I was pointing.
Yeah. This is their go-to. They're blamed for everything. It's some online trolls. So this is the reason why I like this story is because it's a peek behind the curtain. Because we always hear, oh, it's online trolls have done this. Oh, it's just trolls that have done this. And actually, that's just their go-to scapegoat for everything. This just confirms it, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
It's frustrating. It's the same playbook they always run, and we're going to see this more and more as these leaks slowly trickle out. Because mind you, this is a lot of data to go through. Tom, I thought somebody on your team was working on that.
I think, Andre has mentioned it. I don't know exactly what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff we have happening every day.
Yeah.
This had to happen at one of the worst possible times, but yeah,
when we're slammed. But yeah, I think Midnight's Edge is actually working on this data.
Well, I'm sure other people are sifting through it too. That's how we're getting these stories leaking. It's going to take time. Like that was the thing with the Sony leak, man. It took us. I mean, I came in when Andre was going through the tail end of that. And at that point, he had already kind of gone through and categorized things and known where certain things kind of were already, to where he would throw certain things at me and go, look for it. It's in here somewheres. And we'd find stuff. Like one of the last things we worked on besides Spider-Man stuff was the Popeye story with the Jendi Tartakovsky Popeye story, because everybody was blaming the Emoji Movie for that movie getting killed when the Popeye movie was killed prior to that even being a thing. It was just getting the ire for it, I guess. But that's neither here nor there. But we actually sifted through the emails, got all the stuff together to find what happened with this Popeye screening and when they decided to cancel that, and when the Emoji Movie came into the picture and how that kind of worked into it. But yeah, so hopefully, here's the thing with this leak. If this is what the hell's the name of that thing that they stole this stuff from? It's called Slack. Yeah, so this is basically like an internal chat room. So is there going to be some salacious? Yeah, is there going to be some salacious, fun stuff in here? Potentially, but do I think it's going to be as big and as bad as the stuff we got out of Sony? No. Why? Because the stuff we got out of Sony was literally like Amy Pascal's emails, right? And that's where like 90% of the salacious stuff came from. And that's where we got a lot of this stuff, was her correspondence back and forth with people, because she was so high up in the chain, right? So I don't think a lot of the higher execs are probably on this Slack account. I mean, if they are,
I think you'd be surprised.
As they are, and they're talking about stuff they shouldn't be, well, then this is going to get juicier than I thought. But considering this is only some of the first stuff we're getting to come out yet, it depends. It's going to take a while to go through all this stuff. I think there was over 1.5 terabytes of information. And if you think about how, I mean, a web page don't take all that much or whatever. So that's a lot of stuff to go through. So probably years worth of messages, right? So we'll have to see how long it takes. In fact, I won't say any more than that. Yes, we are working on it, but yeah.
I was just going to say, very funny super chat here from Norm. Normal man says Disney toxic and blaming everything on fans. Imagine my shock. Yeah, it's the playbook, man. But we're just confirming it, aren't we? It's just comical now. So there you go. Jeremy Renner lost his cool app for fans, because Marvel were jealous, like jealous little bitches. I think that's the most comical part of this, because they're jealous. There you go. There you go. Cool. Excellent. Good bit of fun there. Good bit of fun. All right. Well, let's move on to something. Well, we're here now, actually. It's going to be the final one tomorrow. Or tonight, as some people say it. So yeah, let's get into this as well. Good bit of fun here. Right. Well, look, Star Wars: The Acolyte Season 2 probably not happening. Obviously. Obviously, it's probably not happening. Season 2 is cancelled. They got Renew the Acolyte trending over on Twitter briefly. It was loads of people. It was like hashtag Renew the Acolyte trending.
Bots.
Yeah, it was like bots, but then it was also some really weird, like, I don't know. They do it with everything well, they do it in everything with any property. These people wanting to get Osha and Khmer like fucking or something like that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not-
Shipping.
I-
They're shipping them.
That's the one, shipping. But listen, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Let's get Renew the Acolyte trend in. Okay, let's do it. Because then I can buy Toyota Celica. All right, let's get it going. Celica lives matter. All right, my life matters. I want one of these cars in my life. So let's get it trending. I'm not going to be one of these people that's like, oh God, no, please don't. Please no more. No, please more Acolyte. Burn that money. Please do. Absolutely. It's great content. It's good fun. 100% do it. It's cracking. So I tweeted this out. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Reviews. But yes, it's just funny. Like if I go here, Renew the Acolyte, you'll just see these weird people. Again, this like, oh, should Acolyte again, all flags and stuff like that. Kind of what you expect, really. Things in bios, all that kind of nonsense. It's just bizarre. All this like Oshamir, I think, is another tag. Here's the other tag that people got trending. Osha and Khmer. Look at this stuff. What's wrong with people? It's so bizarre, man. Isn't it? Anyway, whatever. Thoughts? Because I mean, it's basically it's done, isn't it? Let's get real here. I mean, even Paul Tassie's got to admit that it's done. He does it begrudgingly. He's like, the last few episodes have been excellent.
Lie.
Yeah, yeah, massive lie. But he's like, yeah, it's unlikely we're going to get some more though. I hope we do. I'll buy Toyota Celica. Anyway, that's it. I mean, that's the story. It's just a good bit of fun. It's clearly going to be cancelled. I hope it's not. I'd love to get more. It'd be very, very funny. We've got the last episode tomorrow, today, whatever.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, I'll be watching it and doing the after party over on WDW Pro's channel right after it finishes airing on Disney Minus. But I will say this ain't coming. This won't come back. You can't. There's no money here, especially after.
No, don't burst my bubble.
I know. Okay, well, you're more likely to get She-Hulk 2 than you are Acolyte 2.
I'm just saying, God damn
it. I want to help. I'll help you with that trend. What they made Agatha all along, and they made that because it got memed, not because anybody really liked that show particularly, or even that premise or character. So, I mean, Catherine Hahn's great, but I don't know. It was made because of a meme. It looks increasingly unlikely. Yeah, no kidding. Tom will like it if it comes back. I mean, I'll make money.
Tom will wet his pants if
Tom loves the Acolyte. It's like his favorite Disney Star Wars show.
I liked it more than Cats. I will watch it again and again.
You could write for a bot, Tom.
What? I'm not a bot. You're a bot.
You could write for a bot.
You're a bot.
Thank you. Right there. I feel very bot-like.
I'm just saying, we need more space lesbos. All right.
Well, you forgot the.
I say that all the time. Oh, you mean like the actual outer space? I thought you were talking about men's space.
What?
Like, look out, lesbians. We want more space.
Yeah, all right, that's funny. Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, we're obviously not going to get it, are we? But
no. If they do, it's purely a Batgirl thing or whatever, or Batwoman or whatever the hell that show was. Out of pure principle.
Yeah, I mean, how long was a Lesbian Headband's contract? I think it was just one season.
Yeah, she's not been contracted anymore. So.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just that one and done. I'd imagine there'd be options for more, though. She would have been optioned for more, for sure. But yeah, unlikely to actually have it. So I don't know. I think it's hilarious. I'm game. I'm game for more. Let me buy this car. God damn it, that'd be epic. Please, I need this in my life. It got quite a good response. People were like, I knew I liked you for a reason. I've owned 4 of them. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. You're making me jealous. It's like, do we think this is going to stick the landing? Do you think this is going to end well or not? What do we think?
Well, I don't think that this last episode is 6 hours, which is the only way they could bring everything together in a logical satisfying conclusion. And I think we're stuck at about 34 minutes for tonight, maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Oh,
But
wow.
well, I mean, none of these shows are more than 41 minutes long, so I mean,
That's
I
so
can't look it up right now, but when it starts airing, I'll look it up and I'll find that there's no way they're going to be able to do this. I mean, even Darth Randolph, who we featured on here on Thursday, and
we need
her
to get her comments.
and
We need
her
to get
turnabout.
comments for Thursday,
Yeah.
don't we?
I
comedy
believe me,
girl.
I already know. I've already been tasked. You didn't even have to say it. I will be pulling down her
Good.
thoughts on the Wokalite, and we will rinse through them like sullied undergarments on Thursday.
Do you think it will end? I don't know. Concisely, Tom.
The show? Like, do you think there'll be an actual ending to it?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting question. Because it could go a lot of different places. It could wrap up just about everything in one nice little bow to where they'll sit there and go, well, there never was going to be a season 2 anyway, so I don't know why people were asking. Right? Where'd they even Sadie? Hey.
She's not a fan of the Acolyte. I know someone who is a fan of the Acolyte. It's Nick.
Hey, what's going
We're
on,
talking
guys?
about Acolyte season 2.
Oh
and,
man, I really hope it happens.
I really hope it happens. So I can buy this goddamn car.
Yeah, like we literally had our best month in the history of our channel in June because of this crap show. Yeah, I hope it happens because we will continue to roast and shit all over it because you already know it's going to be bad before they even make it, before they even decide if they're even going to do a season 2. So, man, I will be cheering for the people that want a season 2 of this thing. But honestly, I just don't see how they can justify a season 2 of this garbage.
So you don't think we're gonna? All right. So you don't think we're gonna get one? But do you think it'll end in a satisfactory way?
No. I think it is not going to end in a satisfactory way at all. I mean, I don't see how it could. I mean, it didn't even start in a satisfactory way, so I'm not really thinking it's going to end in a satisfactory way. I'm sure they'll probably leave, a small tidbit of a continuation or, find out what happens next in season 2, and kind of leave it on a cliffhanger like that. I don't think it's gonna wrap sort of like the way Kenobi ended, where you could pretty much be done with it after that. I think she'll purposefully end it in a way to where she can kind of push for a season 2.
True.
Like, hey, we have this unfinished story, that we kind of teased in this last episode and continue whatever story she's trying to tell. And so yeah, I don't think it's just gonna end on like a where you can put a period at the end of this thing.
Well, I guarantee you, all those ladies on set, they were all timed and synced up.
Oh yeah.
Space lesbians. Real quick, we got some super chats about all of this actually. So just real quick on the last topic, Stumpy says over a terabyte might be one good script in there. This is true, to be fair.
On the that was on the Disney hack.
Yeah, that was the last subject we were on. Normal Man says shippers are blights on fandoms and harbingers of a franchise's destruction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Shamir. Fucking weirdos. Absolute weirdos. B Pats over on Streamlabs sending $3 says, "They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to God, like clay they are molded, and in the furnace of conflict they are forged. In great MAGA armor shall they be clad, with such normal opinions that no leftist may best them."
Amen, good sir.
He continues, "They will have normal opinions, not on Twitter. They'll be untouched by blue hair and rainbows. They are the defenders of humanity. They are Baz, and they know no fear."
Absolutely.
This guy, BPATs, on Sundays, because I do text to speech on Sundays, super chats. He's been doing this like Pride saga every Sunday, like just $10, $10, $10, and just this ongoing saga about basically the Pride apocalypse and what's happened and stuff like this. It's really funny. This guy's a legend, absolute class act. Oh mate, if you start doing MAGA ones on Sunday, BPATs, that'd be great. Anyway, Chaos is Fun says, "These shows do provide entertainment in the reviews from folks like yourselves, so bring on more." Yes. An Archer Merchant says, "A good example that respected franchise source, even if a little fantastical." Oh, this is to do something else, but it says, "Was Aliens Dark Descent. Wonderful XCOM rogue light dungeon crawler colonial marine hybrid. Not excited. These shows, movies coming out just end up cancelled, shelved for losses." Yeah, that's true. That is true. A lot of them have been, to be fair. So yeah, you're right.
I saw your video on the TV spots for Alien Romulus and the new Xenomorph they showed. I want to know what theater that's at, because it looked like they had the full thing like encased in glass and stuff. Like I wish my local theater would get something cool like that for me to go in and check out and look at and take a picture of.
It looks so cool. So
yeah.
Where is it? I posted it earlier. Here we go.
Yeah.
Look, how amazing is that? This whole bloody thing.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, with the human skull and stuff, sort of.
So good.
They're saying AMC in the chat.
Oh, is it AMC?
I don't know if it's all of them. Probably just their major ones, if not just one.
That makes sense.
Probably the one in California. And LA.
It's here in LA, says Funky Con.
Yep. Yeah.
Looks badass, man. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Anyway, there you go.
That looks really badass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm enjoying all the content being able to make on it. I'm super happy with it. It's good. Real quick, Big Al Games super chat $3.89 says, "Sorry I'm late for this topic. Been in work." No worries. My 2 cents on the Tenacious D thing is that to me it just looked like a shitty, edgy joke that sounded better in Carl's head, and Jack reacted in an equally shitty and edgy way. I mean, with jokes, man, there has to be a punchline with a joke. Got to remember that. Like, there's no joke going, "Oh, I hope, don't miss Trump next time." How's that a joke? Like.
And the sad thing is, a lot of the audience laughed. So a lot of people, and I'm completely against cancel culture. I'm 100% for free speech. Let people say what they want, but there's also consequences to that.
Yes.
What you're gonna say. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to say publicly. I just don't do it because I'm sure I'd catch a lot of freaking backlash,
Yeah.
And so I just don't say a lot of things. And there's a lot of topics me and Coach don't hit on, just because our viewpoints on it probably aren't going to be popular, and we're just not going to say anything. So they should have probably taken that road and been like, like Angry Joe. If you guys are familiar with the Angry Joe show, he's a huge liberal. But he actually did a tweet right after that whole thing happened, just saying, that he's glad Trump's okay and all that sort of stuff. And he hates Trump. Yeah. Like has major TDS.
But that's the right thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't wish death upon your political rivals. It's just nonsense. You just don't do that.
Yeah. They all talk about, wanting democracy, but yet they want the opponent to be killed and not actually let democracy happen. So, like, how's that make sense?
I don't know. It's just, it's disgraceful behavior. Israel R super chats $5 says, I think we'll get Disney version of the Wonder Twins with the finale of The Acolyte. Oh, man, I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll watch it. We'll review it on Thursday. Olaf for $3 says, Nick, share some of your adventures last weekend. Yeah, so go on then, Nick.
Yeah, so I went to the Fan Expo in Knoxville last weekend. Got to meet Gina Carano and talk to her for a little bit. Got her to sign a Gina Carano figure for me. No, but she did follow us on Twitter. Drunk 3PO actually said a lot of nice things about me and Coach and our channel.
She followed me a long time ago. Haha.
Yeah. She just she just followed us just over the weekend after I met
That's
her.
cool though.
And
Does she smell nice? I bet she smells nice.
Yeah. I got I posted a picture on our Twitter page.
What are you talking about?
Just being funny. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't stink or nothing. I wasn't like, whoa, man, she didn't shower today. No, she smelled great. But yeah, it was awesome. And then I got to hang out with a lot of cool other YouTubers, the girls from Force of Light Entertainment, Valiant Renegade, Gary Ambrose.
They're on here next Thursday, by the way.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice. Yep, they're our final roast of the last episode of the Acolyte will be tonight, and they're gonna pop in. We're gonna actually send invites out to a lot of our YouTube content creator friends. Tom Culture will be. I'm gonna send a link to you guys as well. I know
He's not sending a link to me.
Well, I'll send the link to you, but I mean it's gonna be like 2 in the morning. I figured you'd probably be asleep. So everybody who's gonna actually be awake, I'm gonna send a link.
Oh yeah, change the goalpost now, mate.
Yeah. No, I thought about sending you the link, but I was like, man, it's gonna be like 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 in the morning his time.
I'm gonna be asleep. I'll wake up tomorrow and watch the shitty episode and review it. Oh dear. Right, okay. Shall we move on to another topic now? Yeah. All right, just one person. All right. Such great energy here, guys.
Right.
Let's do it. Come on. Next topic.
Okay. Yes. Let's. Wow.
So this has been like an ongoing Disney shit show. They converted Splash Mountain into something new that no one really cared about, no one was really interested in. And yeah, basically Forbes have done a pretty decent article on it all. So I thought this would be quite interesting. Do you want to let everyone know what you think about Splash Mountain and this new Tiana Bayou, whatever it's called, isn't it? What do you reckon? Culture, you seem a bit more up to date on this than I am.
Well, so yeah, I mean, yeah, this is probably the worst decision the Disney company has ever made for no reason other than a handful of 10 people.
Yeah,
that were complaining that it was tied somehow to racism and entrenched, so on and so forth. Really, kids that rode through this really enjoyed their time with Brer Rabbit, going through and throughout his day, heading to his laughing place. The theme of the ride was well done. There was a story throughout, and it really kind of took you to the plunge into the briar patch at the very end, and then a celebration of escaping from the wolf and the bear, or excuse me, the fox and the bear, Brer Fox and Brer Bear. But what they did is they rebuilt an entire attraction without consideration for the mechanics and everything else that went into doing this. And because of the way with which this was haphazardly dismantled, they may have created several different problems. And I haven't got to expand on this. I've talked about it before, but the animatronics don't work all the time. In fact, sometimes they break and they stop. Sometimes the entire attraction shuts down because the fire alarm goes off because they're probably pulling too much power. You see, they converted things that were driven by pneumatics, hydraulics, and some piezoelectric actuators that existed in the previous attraction, the previous animatronics. Instead, everything in this is now all electric. So it is a huge power demand. It requires clean power. And if you took everything apart very shoddily and you left some open grounds and some other things there,
Oh,
you're going to have very
idiot.
dirty power. So you're going to have faults everywhere. Also, there's a decent chance that they don't have enough power to run this entire thing, which is also going to cause problems because you're going to have faults where animatronics don't return back to home position, or what we call start position. Home position is don't tear yourself apart position. But start position is where the animatronic will return to start their performance, because a lot of these, instead of being looped animatronics, you have activated animatronics, which means when they are triggered, they reset to home and then they perform their little ditty. And the problem is if they don't return to home or they miss home, then they stop and nothing happens. And there are entire whole body segments that can shut down. In fact, one of the weirdest things is seeing the alligator guy just sitting there like a statue and just kind of having his mouth jitter. There's like weird stuff that's happening in this attraction. Tiana will go into a Y pose or a T pose, like a video game character, which is that's the don't tear yourself apart thing. Or it could be that she has a start position that's close to that, for her performance for when you go floating by. They also may not have enough clean power or power in general to power the pumps to make the attraction go anymore. Because when you don't have enough power for something, you have to shut down something to get more power, and that would be a pump. So if you shut down a pump, you immediately slow everything down throughout the entire chain, and you cause log backups and all kinds of other stuff. This attraction no longer runs efficiently, and last time I checked, it still had about a 24 to 26% downtime throughout the entire day. So 1/4 of available opportunity, it's shut down.
That's hilarious. So a lot of the stuff you're just saying is in this article, and then it says, embarrassingly for Disney, the original Splash Mountain lives on in Tokyo Disneyland.
Yep.
The logic behind this is that the offensive origin of the underlying story has less relevance to the local audience in Japan.
That's inventing a story. They have been trying to force Tokyo to change to this bull stuff, and the Japanese aren't having it. They're not having it.
Tokyo Disney also happens to be the only Disney branded resort which isn't owned or operated by the media giant.
That's true.
Disney simply provides the license to specialist leisure operator Oriental Land Co., which runs the resort. That's funny. Presumably, if OLC believed that the update to Splash Mountain would benefit its business, it would have given it the green light, but it hasn't. So a lot of what you've just said, super. Thanks for that, Culture. Great to hear it all. And then we sort of come down here. It says, in recent weeks, there have been widespread reports about thin crowds at Disney World, with Walt Disney World Magic reporting that even on the morning of July 4th, most attractions had wait times of less than an hour, with none above 100 minutes. It was a stark contrast to previous years where queues for headline attractions were already 3 to 4 hours long by midday. That's a huge difference. And by midday, parks closed because they reached capacity. Another industry expert, that Park Place, so friends of the channel, added that its contributor, Lorraine Creole, was taken aback by the low crowds at the Magic Kingdom on July 3rd and 4th. The crowd levels are definitely much lower than they used to be for the 4th. So what is it? So essentially, Disney doesn't officially disclose the cost of individual attractions, so the amount it spent on Tiana's Bayou adventure remains a closely guarded secret. It's left fans without an indication of how much it cost Disney to update a flagship ride like this until now. The evidence comes straight from the horse's mouth. As we recently revealed, the superhero-themed Avengers campus that opened in 2022 at Disneyland Paris cost precisely $404 million to build, according to David Gerardius, the land's design manager. Remarkably, the Imagineer revealed the sum in a post on LinkedIn, and mindful of the fact that he may delete his indiscretion once it was reported, they took a screenshot of his page. Lo and behold, once the piece was published, the Avengers Campus budget mysteriously disappeared from LinkedIn. That's hilarious. Gerardis wasn't just loose-lipped about the budget of the Avengers Campus, but many other attractions at Disneyland Paris. So we took screen grabs of them too. One was the update to Star Tours Disney's classic Star Wars simulator. So that's hilarious as well. Says in September 2014, Imagineering show design production director Bjorn Herwagen, interesting name, revealed to us that the update was coming to Disneyland Paris too. So insanely high max cost. So the manpower required to develop and install the new decor and audio animatronics compensates for lack of CGI. Combined with 7 years of inflation, it should put the upgrade budget for both attractions at approximately a similar level. And according to Gerardus, that came to $71 million, as can be seen here. And it would put the total spend on Tiana's Bayou Adventure over the past 4 years at $142 million. $142 million for something which is fundamentally broken. Wow. So there you go. They updated something that they didn't need to update. They invest, and this is why it's funny when like Bob Iger's comes out and like, yeah, we're gonna combat Epic Universe. We're gonna spend $6 billion on it, and you're like, it's not that much, really, mate. It's across all your parks, and it's across a certain amount of time, and yeah, it's not that much, to be fair. Like, there you go. There's not much else to say.
It's embarrassing how little they're spending and reinvesting in their parks. It is embarrassing for them, especially across 2 decades. I mean, Plan 1 was across 10 years. Now they're doing it over 2 decades when it comes to the Disney World Park, which is the crown jewel of the company. They are embarrassing. They are trash, and they are about to get unseated in Florida by Universal. So there's that.
Do you think that has anything to do with their dwindling visitation at these parks, culture?
Terrible food. Everything's too costly. Everything's on your phone. It's impossible to escape reality or the real world. You're putting the real world into freaking attractions now. You have things that are inauthentic. You have cast members that are not dressed within the period because they have tattoos and strange hair and beards, and appearance standards have been abandoned in the theme parks. You have all kinds of other problems that come along with modernity, and you don't take all that good care of the staff that you have. You used to, but over the last 2 decades, it's been a falling rock. Disney absolutely 100% deserves this, and that's spoken like a fan. I used to be a Disney fan to the extreme, and would oftentimes find the uniqueness in different places that no longer is there anymore. The hotels they're putting up now are like Ramada Inns. Nothing is unique about them, even the design. I can go on and on. I don't think it's healthy, but I will tell you that this is probably the worst idea they ever had, and this is just a continuation of another worst idea they ever had when they redid the Jungle Cruise, because now it's back to falling apart. They could have done a proper fix of that attraction without tearing out the things that were culturally insensitive, and it would have been fine. But this is not the Walt's Disney. It is Iger's WEF compliant entertainment company. Yeah. Now, anyway, there's that.
BPAT's super chat says, maybe I'll do that, Mr. H. I think it's fantastic. Others, they're saying it's the best. I met someone right before this. I said, do you like this comedy? It's the best he's ever seen. MAGA. And then also says, Disney confirms blacks can't swim.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Go on then, Nick. What do you reckon about this whole debacle? $148 million they spent on this.
I mean,
unnecessary garbage.
There was no need for them to change anything. Just like there was no need for the Cleveland Indians or the Washington Redskins to change their names or change their, properties of their respective teams. This has just gotten so ridiculous in the world we live in today. Everybody's offended by everything. You got to coddle to everybody's feelings. It's people in the United States, a lot of huge majority of them. Well, I wouldn't say majority. A large portion of the people in the U.S. have just turned into a bunch of pussies, and that's pretty much what it is. And now this is the kind of crap we get. I mean, not to go back into the Trump stuff, but if you guys saw the DEI hires, Secret Service people that didn't know how to use properly holster their guns and stuff, and running around looking like a chicken with their head cut off. One of the guys who does a tactical training class that me and Mike went to, Mexican Iron Man, actually did a breakdown on this, and he's a ex-military door kicker, and so he kind of broke it down and just talked about just how ridiculous it is, and then it's ridiculous. They should have never changed this the Splash Mountain and spent this money. If they're going to spend it, just make the ride better. Leave it how it is. If people want to complain about it being insensitive or racist or whatever, let them complain. Nobody, it wasn't keeping anybody from coming to your park and riding the ride. So there was no point in this. It was a complete waste of money, and now it's just a huge disaster.
Well, it's an embarrassment for them, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Rather than an attraction, it's just it's something which people just are like, what the hell is this?
They don't see it that way though. They look at it as, this is virtuous on our part. Look at what we're doing because we care.
This is true. Tom, you got anything you want to add to this, mate? No worries if not. Just thought I'd ask.
Well, as Nick said, they are pussies. There's a lot of pussies in the world, and there's assholes and there's dicks. And dicks fuck the pussies.
Where's this going?
But assholes fuck everyone. No, it's from Team America. I'll shut up.
Okay.
Oh, God, that's right. I remember.
God,
okay,
Gary, there's
yeah,
three kinds of people in this
world. Yeah. Accident Seller says the girls protecting Trump, Victoria's Secret Service. Yeah. Well, they weren't around. There were no women around him at the RNC. So
yeah, they all match.
I screwed it up. It's assholes shit all over everything, but sometimes you need a dick to fuck an asshole.
Demonetized. Thanks very much. Anyway.
Sorry.
Oh well, there you go. There you go. Anyway, just in time because I know Culture needs to bugger off. So, do you want to promote some stuff, Culture?
I have a YouTube channel. I have a Grumble channel. I'm on X, which is Twitter. I'm just going to keep calling Twitter, Minds, and Getter. Please subscribe to me everywhere, and I think you will enjoy it because I'm fun.
There you go. Nick, do you want to promote some stuff?
Guys, we have a huge show tonight. The freaking final roast of the Acolyte. We're going to be joined by a ton of different people over there. So yeah, drops at 8 Central. So we'll probably go live around 8:45, 9 o'clock Central time tonight. And yeah, it's gonna be huge. Like I said, Culture, Tom, I'm gonna shoot you guys out links. As well as a ton of other people that I've already talked to over the weekend in Knoxville and this week. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people jumping on, just kind of giving their final takes. And then we'll be on Chris Gore's channel, Film Threat, tomorrow for the Star Wars funeral Wednesday, where we'll be giving our Star Wars eulogies. So that'll be fun, too.
Nice. Tom, you want to promote some stuff, mate?
Got Midnight's Edge After Dark, Mead Radio, Lost Classics. Got Mead coming up in about an hour. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Awesome. From me, well, tomorrow we've got some more Alien Romulus stuff actually coming out tomorrow. Acolyte review as well tomorrow. Some bits and pieces. My uploads might be a bit sporadic. I have a bulging disc in my spine at the moment, so I'm actually in quite a lot of pain. I'm on quite a lot of painkillers, so uploads may be sporadic. If I get like a burst of pleasant feeling rather because of the painkillers. I can upload a bit more, but I might be a bit all over the place. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a bit better for Thursday. You can sort of settle into that and it'll be all right. But yeah, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. We love putting the show on for you, so we will catch you on Thursday. Follow me over on Twitter at Missed Reviews. Support me on Patreon. But that's it, guys. Cheers from me and everyone else. Take care. Bye-bye now.